Welcome once again. Arnold Mutegeki. Paul is my name. You and me are part of Me and Geography, the YouTube family. Thank you very much. Much love and respect to you people. Thank you for the support, for the care. We are going to be learning more. Keep watching and subscribing to this channel, and more is coming our way. So in the last episode, we dealt with basically the methods of data collection. We looked at each method, and just to make a recap, we said you state the method, define the method, and describe how you used it, basically giving the information you got. Today, I also want, actually in the last episode, we also dealt with how to draw a sketch map of the area studied. Today we want to start from that point. After learning how to draw a sketch map, we now look at something else which we call a cross-section, which some people also refer to as a line transect, whereas others refer to it as a relief section or a transverse section. All those words mean almost the same. From the word cross-section, I can start by giving you an example from our daily life. Let's say you have an orange and cut it into two pieces. What is on this piece represents what is on the other piece. So basically these two pieces, one of the pieces is the summary of what is characteristic of all the pieces. So when we are looking at a cross-section in fieldwork, we shall look at a cutting through the landscape or the relief of an area. Basically a landscape of the area, and it basically summarizes all the aspects, physical and human, in the field. So that's what we want to look at. We want to look at qualities of a good cross-section. What should a good cross-section have? We start with saying everything starts with the title, just like every human being starts by having a name. So a complete title is a must. It should indicate the starting and the end points, showing all the asked features. That is that we're saying. Then it should be properly shaded. If it is properly shaded, then it should be properly labeled. We are going to look at proper labeling in that case. Then that cross-section should have a key in case the scholar has used symbols. I tried to elaborate just a sample of a cross-section, perhaps of the area where I did my research, but you can equally have a cross-section from the area where I did your research. So this is just a simple. What is a complete title? A complete title here we are saying a cross-section of Kaiso Fish Learning Site from Kaiso Hill to Lake Albert. Like I said, a complete title should have a starting point and the end point of the cross-section, showing physical features and land use types. There we are. And then just look at the hints. I try to summarize here. It shows the starting point, as you can see there, and then the end point. For our case it is Albert. The physical features, I've only indicated a few, but you could have indicated more. Kaiso Hill is a relief feature. Lake Albert is a drainage feature. Those are physical. Then the land use types, there is a market. Obviously the name of the market was stated there, and then the road whose name has also been stated. So that's just a simple summary of the cross-section that we are talking about. When you ask to draw a cross-section, it simply summarizes what it brings in concept a summary of whatever was on the landscape. For this case, I didn't want to over-congest it. Then basics about this cross-section: the labeling should be perfect. Like you can see there, should be horizontal, as I have stated, as I've shown you there, horizontal labeling. And then make sure if you're labeling, you don't congest it so much that this word, for example, didn't go into the other word which is indicating Lake Albert. So basically, this is how it should be labeled. Words should not be horizontal. Some students have a tendency of, should not be so inclined. Some students have a tendency of writing words going upwards. That is not correct. Okay, it could be correct, but it shows some sense of disorganization, which is not good for someone looking at your work. It should be shaded. As you can see, it's well shaded. If I had used any symbol, I was supposed to draw a key. But since I didn't use any, therefore the key for this case is not that relevant. For our A-level students, This is what sometimes they ask you to draw a panorama. O level, take note, they have never asked a student to draw a panorama, so don't worry. Maybe one day, one time, there is always a first time for everything. They may ask you to draw a panorama. So for this case, A-level students, what is a panorama? I have just a simple definition of a panorama from obviously the English dictionary, which says this refers to an unbroken view of the entire surrounding area. An unbroken view of the entire surrounding area. So basically, it is a picture of the entire surrounding, summarized. Don't confuse it with a sketch map. We are going to look at that. It may also be referred to a comprehensive survey. In other words, when we talk about a comprehensive survey, it means seeing things from one point of view. That is what we call a comprehensive survey. So, what are some of the qualities of a good panorama? That's what we want to look at now. One, we say it should have a complete title. All aspects of geography that involve drawing sketches should have complete titles. What do I mean a complete title? It should bear whatever has been asked for you to elaborate. Then it should have a key, stroke labeling. There should be a viewpoint. Panoramas are an aspect whereby you start from a viewpoint. When you are standing at a particular point, what did you see and what did you draw? So the difference there from a sketch map is that for a sketch map, you use symbols. But a panorama, you draw the exact features that you saw. If it is a tree, you'll draw it as a tree. If it is a hill, you draw it as a hill. Unlike a sketch map, whereby if it's a hill, you'll be using circular contours, or if it's a tree, you may use a particular symbol. So that's the difference between a panorama and a sketch map. In that, a panorama, one, has a viewpoint, a sketch map does not. Two, a panorama is a summary of the features, but drawn in their exact appearance. Unlike a sketch map, which is basically a summary using symbols for that case. So we want to continue to look at more of the qualities of a good panorama. It should bear all the features. Then next, features should be presented in a picture form, not symbols, because the moment you put them as symbols, you are drawing a sketch map in that case. So the features should appear in front of the viewpoint. Basically, you are supposed to, in other words, when you're drawing a panorama, you stand at a particular point and draw whatever you see in the field in their exact appearances, not symbols. That is what we call a panorama for our friends of A-level, excuse me. So I want to give you a simple summary of sample questions about drawing a panorama. What is a panorama? I have defined that. So here they are saying draw a panorama of the area studied and on it mark and name relief features. For those who have been moving with me, in our first episodes, we discussed relief features are basically features that bring out the general appearance of the landscape. For example, hills, steep slopes, gentle slopes, flatlands, valleys, etc. Then man-made features, basically that is as a result of man, trading centers, markets, roads, settlements, factories, etc. Then we have the second one, which says draw a panoramic view of the area studied. On it mark and name relief features still. Okay, let's say this time we change it to physical features. So they said mark and name physical features. When they say physical features, they mean basically three major aspects are: one, drainage features are part of the physical features. Relief features are also part of physical features. And then lastly, the vegetation types are part of the physical features. So you mark and indicate them. That is basically a summary of a panorama. So from there, I think now everyone has a clear picture of how a panorama looks like, and should not confuse it with a sketch map. For a sketch map, we use symbols to elaborate features. For a panorama, we draw the exact features. If it is a hill, you draw it like a hill. If it's a tree, draw your tree. If it is a house, draw a house with its rooftop. If possible, if you have the time, put ventilators and windows. But for a sketch map, you only need to have a look at the rooftops. Remember why? What is a sketch map? A map is something seen and drawn from above. So you're supposed to only see features from above. I don't expect you to draw for a tree and show its stem, because when you're above, can you see the stem of a tree? Not really. Otherwise, God bless you. Thank you for being part of this presentation. Go view what we put there on our channel, Me and Geography. Subscribe, invite more friends to subscribe, and support this work that we are doing, because together we can, and we shall all be successful. Thank you. God bless you.